Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, which means it's time for us to be talking about coping with stress. and, and I have had more than my fair share going on today, as I will describe in a moment. So I hope you're all having a wonderful 4th of July. For those of you who are celebrating it, that's the US Independence Day, and that you are having fun. I am certain that to be out of the COVID restrictions, to be able to have barbecues again and do those sort of things is something that you've all been looking forward to and hopefully enjoying. I want to say that the program today, for those of you who don't know, is all about coping with stress. But, it's funny because one of the things that I found out today was that YouTube decided to change their format for broadcasting today. And so I went to go and do the usual things, and just forgive me as I just try and get ready for everything here. I went to go and do all the usual things that normally take me minutes. Boom, 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 and I'm done. And guess what? It wasn't there. So that is, it was, yeah, never mind. Long story. But life is like that. It doesn't always go the way we want it to. And I'm seeing Jody here. For those of you who don't know who Jody is, Jody is our admin. And Jody is getting ready. Hi, Autumn. Jody's getting ready to have a major operation and suddenly has got an infection, which would make it, almost impossible for her to have that operation if she doesn't get it cleared up in time. So, Jody, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and I hope that everything works out the way that you would wish it to. Autumn, so funny that you should come in today. I was actually looking at something yesterday and saw your name and thought, I wonder how she and the twins are doing. How are you and the twins doing? Let me know. Yeah, it's been a while. I agree, it's been a while. But, the main thing is, as I've always said to everybody, the reason that we do the the broadcasts the way that we do them is so you'll know where to find us on a regular basis. If it's Sunday, I'm going to be here, and unless life gets in the way. There's been a lot going on, right, Autumn? And so therefore, it begs the question, are you going to update us, or should we just keep quiet about that? This is up to you, obviously. Hang on 1 second. I'm still trying to find what I'm looking for here. Here we go. I know that it's... does that look like it's about to fall over or what? That is so funny. In real life, it isn't. Maybe. Okay. That's why I don't normally broadcast from in here. I'll get over it. And that's not normally open, is it? Hang on. Oh, wrong way. That's so funny that it looks like it's going to fall over. It still looks like. Yeah, never mind. I didn't notice it before. It's the angle. Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? Well, it's going to look more like it now. One thing it's going to be quite normal. All right, so we're talking about de-stressing our life today because it's something we have to do every week, quite honestly. And I'm pretty certain that, Jody, you've had your fair share of stress in the last 24 hours. And about the last thing that you needed in your life was suddenly to get an infection that could, challenge your operation. So let us know. First of all, thank you for even being here. I didn't expect you to be here today, to be honest. And I hope that you are... Yeah, you what am I talking about? I know you, regardless of what pain you're in, you're still going to be here, right? So we thank you for that. And I'm certain that everybody that is a viewer thanks you for that, because it's really important. that they realize that even though you're in the state that you're in, that you're still here. Autumn is saying, I can update. The twins are doing well. One of them has had some cranial issues and was going to get a helmet to fix the flat spot he got due to his torticollis, neck stiff on the right. Wow, that is amazing. Hi, Karen. Good to see you as well. Karen, I wonder if you could just do me a favor and just type in for Jody the date that your daddy passed. I realized that I didn't write that down so that we can acknowledge it for you next year. Wow. Okay. So then Autumn's saying, but then they got worried about his soft spot closing too early, and we had to go to a neurosurgeon. Wow. Well, we wish you all the best on that one, and keep us updated, please, Autumn. And, we will try and keep in touch with you if you don't keep in touch with us. And Jody, could you just make a note if you are capable that I just do a follow-up on Autumn to make sure she's all right. All right, she's saying we're waiting on getting a CT scan, but insurance is taking forever to pre-authorize it. Yes, once we find out for sure, we will either move forward with a helmet or have surgery if it is closed. Wow, like it's not difficult enough having twins, right? And it's like now you've got these issues as well. But Autumn, the good news is that they're both okay as far as we know. Is that correct? That even though there's some issues going on, it's not life-threatening in any way, I hope. Let me know about that one. I wanted to just say I haven't heard from Kimmy. Maybe she will pop in, but she had her sleep study yesterday. And so we're waiting to hear about that. It's Bernice's birthday today. Happy birthday, Bernice, if you happen to listen to this. And we are also celebrating Erin's father, Mark, his birthday. I don't really often do people's parents passing unless I know about them. So I just, I personally met Mark, so that is touches me personally. And thoughts and prayers continue to go up for those poor people whose condos collapsed in Florida, and now everybody else in that building that's been told you can't go back in again. And we're going to drop the rest of the building. I don't know about you. Is it the rest of the building that they're dropping or just that section? I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe you guys understood it better than I did. All right, so Autumn is updating. They are healthy. The same baby is also struggling with eczema, and I finally got that to go away by cutting out a lot of my diet. Wow. Also things going on with my 2-year-old, with his speech delay. Whew. Autumn, take a deep breath. So overwhelm would be something that you understand this week. So I am glad. Yeah. You know something, Autumn, I was going to do the whole broadcast about 4th of July and something told me not to. Something told me to keep to the stress part of it. And now I know why. I do listen to my inner voice, as you know. You got appointments every day for the kids. How about, do we have an appointment for you? For you to have some time off, some hospice time. And if Jeannie comes in, just to remember that she is now waiting for a second inspector to go through her house. You probably heard about the stress of the first one. That really was a lot of problems. Well, Autumn, it's something, it sounds like I'm being funny, but it's something that I learned a long time ago. I was at a management seminar, and the guy said, how many of you have time to look after yourself? And we all laughed, we were all in top management and we were all, busier than bees. And he looked at us and he said, you don't have time for yourself because you don't have tickets. And I don't know about you, but I sort of went, I don't have tickets? What do you mean? And he said, well, think of it this way. Think of it this way. If you had tickets to see the top performer of your dreams, I don't know who that would be. I know who it would be for Jody. It would be Duran Duran. But if you really, somebody that you really had always in a lifetime wanted to meet, and you were going to not only be able to go to their concert, but also go backstage and have private time with them, you had those sort of tickets. Do you think you would find the time to go? And the difference is the motivation to do it. Autumn is saying, I do get out. My husband makes it very easy for me to leave when I need to go and get a minute to myself. So I remind myself of that when I want to refocus. The first thing I need to refocus on is me. Am I giving myself tickets to look after me? And what I've noticed, I don't know about anybody else, but I can tell, even if I'm not aware of it consciously, I can tell I need to take some time for me because my house starts to get out of control. I don't know if any of you have found the same thing. And, it's like I don't keep to my usual routine, and therefore things start to get untidy. And my house is untidy at the moment. And I don't mean a little bit. It's like every room is untidy at the moment. And it's really weird. So what it means is I haven't spent enough time doing my normal routine. I've been too distracted. Now, I'm pretty certain that you'd all say, but Sal, give yourself a break. You're doing a lot of things. Yes, but the truth is I'm also paying the price. And so I wanted to just say this for Autumn's sake and also for Jody's sake. So here we go. Philip Sweet said about staying focused. He said, stay true to yourself, yet always be open to learn. Work hard and never give up on your dreams, even when nobody else believes they can come true. These are not cliches, but real tools you need no matter what you do in life to stay focused on your path. And I would say staying focused on your path of looking after yourself is really important. And Jody is saying, totally relatable, Sal, this business about my house, all right? I go through that too. And then on top of the untidy mess, my anxiety goes up too. Yes, it's a process, isn't it? But the main thing is, if you know to watch out, as I do, watch out for the state of my house and go, okay, that is a trigger warning sign for me. The state of my house is my warning sign that I am starting to overwhelm. Now, the interesting thing is that logically, if you're starting to overwhelm, the first thing you want to do is do more. And you and I both know that the secret of this is to do less but focused. And I've got sort of all sorts of things I wanted to talk to you about that today. You can imagine when I was already dealing with this stress to then suddenly go onto YouTube and think, okay, fine, my usual pattern is this many minutes before I do this many minutes before I do that, and boom, and there we go, we have a broadcast. Well, guess what? That got totally messed up. So now everything else gets messed up, down the line. I have less time to get dressed. I have less time to do this. But I'm still going to make it to the broadcast. It's like, it's just, you will do what's important. So don't think that by paying the extra focus time, you're not going to do the important stuff. You will. What you will hopefully do is cut out some of the distractions. Jack Cranfield, very, very famous for a lot of books, said, successful people maintain a positive focus in life, no matter what's going on around them. They stay focused on their present successes rather than their past failures, and on the next action steps that they need to take to get them closer to fulfilling their goals rather than all the distractions that life presents to them. And I don't know about the rest of you. I am beginning to get pretty concerned with myself that I go to put something up on Facebook, and the next thing I know, and I know it's designed to do this, I am 3 pages into, which celebrities got married and are still married, or, somebody's home. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's not why I went there. But it's like I get so frustrated with myself. It's like, did you fall for this again? And, another half an hour has gone before I really wake up and realize what I'm doing. And I go, no, that's not what I'm doing. So one of the things I'm learning to do is to put the timer on my watch. And every 30 minutes, it goes off. And what I do is when it goes off, I go, what's that? And I go, that's to remind you, are you still on track? Are you still doing what you are meant to be doing? And that is the way that I am reminding myself to keep on track. LL Cool J said, stay focused, go after your dreams and keep moving towards your goals. So Jody, even though you've got the distraction of the infection, I would keep your motivation up that this is going to be fine. They've given you new drugs. Hi, Charlotte. Welcome. They've given you new drugs, and hopefully they will work pretty quickly. I am pretty certain, knowing you are the person you are, you will find out, at what point will they know if you're clear of the infection. And so at what point will you be able to guarantee that you'll be able to go in for the op? And, I would also be checking, do I need to advise the surgeon that this is going on in case they need to, just delay it by a week maybe. So to my mind, if you've got that much antibiotics flowing through you, the chances are you should be pretty clear. But I'm not a doctor or a surgeon. So stay focused on what you can do, all right, and not what you can't. The same with Amber, and I'm really getting a sense of that. Amber, you understand. Stay focused on what you can do, and stay focused on looking after mommy. It's not a minute or two that you need. You need to make sure that you have some pretty solid breaks away from the stress, and just organize with daddy that you can do that. All right, and when I say that you need time to go for a walk, or to maybe go for some shopping therapy, just to get you away from the day-to-day stress, if you can. Now, some of you might have heard about this, but I had an absolute delightful week this week, in as much as that it was my sister's 80th birthday, and I'm just trying to get you pictures here. It was her 80th birthday, and we had a Zoom meeting, and I've never been on a big Zoom meeting before, but we did that, and it was amazing. And my sister, many years ago, I'm just trying to think how many years ago, probably 30 years ago, met a man that she lived with for the rest of her life, and we were basically, they were husband and wife. They chose not to get married for other reasons. But the thing about it was, do you think I can find those pictures? The thing about it was that he had children and grandchildren. And the most incredible thing was that all those children and grandchildren were on the Zoom meeting. And, Stan passed some time ago. And it is wonderful that she actually got to have that family and that they're still around. Thank you, Jody. I just found it myself. All right, so here's where my stress was, people. I ordered this bouquet of flowers for my sister. Now, I want you to see the colors. I don't know if you can see that properly. It's very elegant. It's pink and elegant, right? And this is what she received. Now, I don't know about you. They say that you can't make mistakes putting, different flowers together, but to put pink and orange together, to my mind, was bad enough. But that looks like a dog's breakfast. It does not look elegant. Would you agree? Right? This is what I ordered, and this is what she got. So luckily, she sent me the picture where I just shook my head. So under the question, what would you do? If that happened to you, what would you do? And the reason I always like to talk about this is because, if you've never had this sort of thing happen or never got to talk about it, maybe you don't know what to do. And so what would you do? Yeah, and Jody said it's an interpretation of what I ordered, not even close. And I'm sure they didn't have the pink flowers that they needed or whatever, so they did the best thing. But I'm not a florist, but I know you don't put orange and pink together in a flower arrangement like that. I mean, they clash. Right? So that tells me this was not done to any standard. And so I want to know, what would you do if it happened to you? Would you? It's an important question, because would you go, oh, maybe the florist just didn't have the right color flowers, so they put those in? Or would you go, no, that is not what I ordered, and therefore I need to talk to Teleflora about it? So I actually contacted Teleflora. First of all, I contacted my sister, and I said, just so you know, this is not what I ordered. And I sent her a picture of what I ordered. And I said, I'd like you to notice that the one word that describes what I ordered was elegant. And I know what you received wasn't, but know what I ordered was. All right. And Jody's saying, I'd complain. That's not what I paid for. Yeah. And by the way, I paid over $100 for this. It wasn't a cheap bouquet. It was over $100. So I wrote to them and I said, I am unhappy. This is, and I had showed the pictures. I said, this is what I ordered. And the word I would use to describe this is elegant. And this is what was sent. And the word I would use to describe this is ugly. And so, and left it for them to make a decision. So they wrote back to me and they said, we have passed a credit of $23. Now what would you do? They're refunding my Visa account for $23. And the reason I'm asking you is because, would you quit now? Because I didn't. I wrote back to them and I said, let me ask you a question. If you ordered $100 worth plus of red shoes and you received pink ones, would you think that $23 was a fair compensation? And that's all I said. And you will be surprised to hear that they wrote back to me and they said, please be advised, we have increased the refund to 40% and also a 20% future discount, which can be processed on your next order. So again, what do you think? Do you think I should quit now? Do you think it was worth $50. And does it change the fact that what my sister received was not very pretty? So to me, this is really a case of what I've decided to do is not do anything else today. All right, because I'm still, me, I don't like to do things when I'm emotionally upset about them. So what I did is I read the 60%, 40%, and decided I'll deal with it tomorrow. Yes, and Jody's saying, bold of them to assume that there will be a future order. Yes. And by the way, I don't know what my rights are. I don't know what the Better Business Bureau would say about it. Because when they show you a picture and it is that picture that you order, is that what needs to be sent? I don't know enough about it, quite honestly, but I would say yes. Right? The same thing. If you order red shoes, you expect to receive red shoes, not pink ones. So when I had ordered a completely pink bouquet, an elegant one, and the one that arrived didn't look anything like it, that is pretty worrisome to me. So do you understand that taking a break away from it is something I need to do? Because there are two things I want to talk about here. One is I'm happy, obviously, that they've gone up to 40% discount, but at plus 20% if I rebuy. But yes, and Jody's saying, if you pay by credit card, it may be insured and potentially covered for you. Yes. And again, that's a question I'd like to ask my credit card company. If I ordered something that was meant to be this and something completely different happened, can I reverse the payment? So I don't know what to be happy with. What would you be happy with? That's the question. I also think about karma. Do I think somebody did that intentionally? No, I think they ran out of the right color flowers. But, it's like, that's not right. That is not right. Ashton Eaton said, my key for dealing with stress is simple. Just stay cool and stay focused. All right. So getting bent out of shape will affect my body. I don't want to get all upset about it and angry and whatever. I am disturbed by it, not losing a lot of sleep about it. And that's why I don't have to deal with it today. I can deal with it and, let cooler heads prevail. Maybe by tomorrow I will go 40% fair enough. Let me move on and get on with my life. But I think there is part of me that says, if they show you a picture, then and your expectation is that that's what you will get, and something completely different arrives, then are you entitled to a full refund? I don't quite know who to ask that of. Who would you ask? Well, thank you. Jody's saying, I'd be happy with a full refund. Your comparison of a pair of red shoes is spot on. You see, that's what I try to do, Jody. I'm a great believer in let them feel your pain. All right. And that's why I like to give the example. If you ordered a pair of red shoes and a pair of pink ones arrived instead, how would you feel? So I may stay on that thing, and I may check whether they're members of the Better Business Bureau, and if so, maybe I just take it directly to the Better Business Bureau and ask them. And so I'll see. Justice Smith said, stay focused and stay determined. Don't look to anyone else to be your determination. Have self-determination. It will take you very far. I had to smile this week when I know that both Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos are both trying to be the first in space. And, when I thought about that, I thought, and, Branson suddenly brought his date up so that he could beat Jeff Bezos to the launch. And there's part of me that goes, wow. And I hope that that is safe because he's on that first flight. So, when you look at it and you go, isn't it amazing that in our lifetime we now have two business people launching into space? I don't know. I didn't think obviously I was alive to watch the first moon landing or supposed moon landing, if it did really happen. But, it's like now we've got private companies taking people up into orbit. It's so mind-blowing to me. But if I think that my little flower problem is stressful, can you imagine the stress that those people are going through this week? Oh, interesting. Under the Consumer Rights Act, a retailer must refund you, thanks, Jody, within 30 days of your rejecting goods that are faulty, not fit for the purpose, or not as described. Okay, I think we can say then, I think I'll take a copy of that. Thanks, Jody. And let me just find out where. I'm going to just make sure I can put that somewhere, that I don't lose it. Just bear with me. Okay, that is exactly what I needed. Thanks, Jody. And I'm pretty certain that they will. No, I've got it. Thanks. I've copied and pasted it. Oh, what Jody, thank you, Jody. Jody actually put into the question, the flowers received were not as pictured. Hi, Kimmy. How was your sleep study? Thanks, Jody. That's awesome. I will actually, just in case, because I'm going to be rushing out after the broadcast, I'd appreciate that. So the reason I wanted to talk about it is because now we've all learned something, right? Which is, if you order flowers and what they send is not what was in the picture, then you are entitled to get a refund. But they didn't say how much, Jody. A retailer must refund you within 30 days. They can say we did. But are we saying, is the expectation 100% refund? Or maybe I refer them back to the Consumer Rights Act and say, before I take this, I did say to them, when I said the red shoes versus the pink ones, perhaps before I take another step, can I ask you this question? And that is what I asked. How would you feel about this? So I will now send them the Consumer Rights Act thing and say, again, before I take the next step, would you like to rethink this? I want them to know that I'm not going to cave on. I just am horrified. Oh gosh, Kimmy's saying she didn't have a lot of fun, right? She was up all night, came home and went to bed. All right, but you got through it. How's your hair? I don't know why, Kimmy. I mean, it's all I think about when anybody has that sleep study. How's your hair with that gunk in it? Hi, Beth. Oh, Beth, I want to thank you so much. Beth, after you talked about it, I got myself one of these things, and I wanted to show everybody how they work. So this is what Beth was talking about, and it's like a personal fan. Hang on, let me unplug this. And you just turn it on. Okay, and now what you've got, it's on the weakest one here. Let me turn it up just so you can see. I don't know if you can see. Hang on. Let me do something so you can see. It's not doing what I want it to. There we go. Okay, so it's blowing air onto my face. So what I wanted to ask you, Beth, because I found it interesting that if you actually turn it over and blow air down onto your body, I find that almost better. I don't know why. So I wondered if you tried that and found the difference. I actually found that is not a bad thing to do. So what I wanted to know is if I've got it on, does it make a funny sound for the broadcast? Hang on a second. Push and hold the button. Which one? This one or this little one? Because this one turns it off. Sounds fine? Okay. All right. Talk to me here, Beth. The little one. Okay. It turns it off. Hi, Lola. It's better than a bag of frozen peas. All right, so if I hold my button down, it turns it off, Beth. So that's not what I want. Maybe I didn't get the same model as yours. Maybe mine's down one. I don't think so. So I didn't get the most expensive one. Yeah, I think it's a different model. Anyway, but what I found was, and you're probably going to ask, Sal, how long does it last? I was actually quite surprised that it only lasted for 4 hours on the lowest level. But boy, it's 4 hours of being comfortable. So here I am, I can get up and walk around and I'm still comfortable. Hey, and at a push, you'll forgive me, but it's like, okay, fine. So thank you. 4 hours is awesome. The other thing is, it doesn't come with a very long lead, but I can actually plug it in. There we go. Plug it in while I'm at the computer. Does this make sense to everybody? No, it'll last a lot longer than 4 hours because all the time it's working, it's still recharging. So I just wanted to let you know that it sounded fascinating to me, and I thought I've got to try that because maybe it will help other people. So thank you, Beth. It really has made a difference to me because I don't have air conditioning and I'm a lot more comfortable. If you get a power pack, you can charge it and wear it all day. Yes. And you know something, Beth? I've got one somewhere in one of the many electrical boxes that got packed up. So I actually don't think I need it. Yeah, another $20. I've been spending rather a lot of $20 things recently. So my point is this, that while I'm at the computer, I just charge it. And then when I'm not at the computer, I unplug it and walk around after I've choked myself. Yeah. How many times have I walked away from the computer while it's packed, still plugged in? I wanted to let you know that it was very difficult celebrating. I found it very stressful celebrating my sister's 80th and having to do it on Zoom. I was very grateful that we have Zoom, but I was thinking how lucky I was that I wasn't trying to attend her funeral that way or something. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like things have definitely changed when we have to do these major milestone things this way. And I am so glad. I think Jody knows this, but what I decided was, other than the disaster of the flowers, I had decided that I would write her a poem about her life. And I wasn't sure how it would be received, but I wrote this whole poem, and it went through a lot of memories, and it was called Life is About Memories. And I told the story of her life in various points, and then sort of ended by saying, that if life is about memories, then I hope this is added to them. But what stunned me was the reaction from all the people that were on the Zoom meeting, how much they valued it, as well as my sister, who immediately asked me to send it to her. So, it's funny, isn't it? You think you're doing something that maybe they won't appreciate it, and it turned out to be much more appreciated than I had expected. So remember that sometimes the little things mean a lot. And, to me, the fact that I could prove that the flowers that I sent were not the ugly ones that got received made me feel a lot better. I know I'm good with her in terms of that. But, I did want to mention the fact that all of you who have lost family and friends, or, who've gone through really difficult times during this pandemic, I want to tell you, I could really feel it when we had the Zoom meeting. But I, again, spent my time focusing on the fact, aren't we lucky to have the technology where we can do this? And if you had told me 20 years ago that we'd be able to do that, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Chris Goronsky said, you have to stay focused to be mentally tough. That's what I've learned. Every day is a grind, and you have to go hard. All right, so Kimmy, you've got the test done. When will you know the results? Wow. Beth saying, the only oopsie I had today at work so far is dropping a full propane tank, barely missing my toe. I can feel that, Beth. I can see it and I can feel it. Pray God that is the worst thing that happens to you today. So, when I look at it, when do you start your new job, Beth? Oh, and Kim's saying she maybe gets the results on Wednesday. Awesome. You'll let us know, hey, Kim? Now, the other thing that I'm getting a little stressed about and a little bit frustrated is that, the story about some of my jewelry went missing, much loved jewelry went missing in the fire. And I think I've said to you that now I found out that I've got to get written quotes for that jewelry in order to get compensated for it. But, trying to get those written quotes is not as easy as you think. So, and also, at some point, I may even have to pay to get them. So you have to pay money to get money back. But, it is what it is. So I need to move on and do it. But, it's like I've been trying to do this for 2 weeks, and I haven't got one back yet. So very frustrating. But what would you do? What can you do except be the squeaky wheel? And so now it's like, okay, fine. Mondays is going to be my day for, hello, could I get that quote, please? So, Kimmy, I understand that the technician would not give you the result. They're not allowed to do that, right, legally. So I'm delighted that you'll get it as early as Wednesday. Well done. Chiga said that the best career advice I've gotten is to stay focused and keep moving forward. Stay focused. Keep moving forward. Just one more step. One of the things that happened was this picture of mine that some of you know fell off the wall during the fire, and they had it. Luckily, the glass didn't break. But now I had to stick the frame back together, but then it also was chipped. So now that I've sort of put the frame back together. That's good. I got it back in there, and I've sanded it. But it's sitting in a plastic bag like this because now the next thing I'm going to do is paint the frame again. So there's the paint. And then I had to hunt down a brush. So you understand, that's the next step. And I know I've done the step that I could this week, and this is for the next step. And I don't worry about trying to do it all in one day anymore, right? Because that's when you just make a mess of it. Oh, interesting. Beth is saying in her new store, when do you start at the end of the year? They're still building it. Okay. So Beth is saying at the new store, she gets to hire somebody to clean the floors once a week in the new store. I'm amazed they only clean it once a week. I presume you guys clean it every day. But you're saying somebody comes in and does a polish it. Ah, there you go. That's awesome. So you guys just wet wipe it. Yeah, you will still mop it, and they'll come in and polish it once a week. Awesome. Tracy Ellis Ross said, as I get older, the more I stay focused on the acceptance of myself and others and choose compassion over judgment and curiosity over fear. You know, it's funny, isn't it? I found that one of my neighbors that I thought was, not a nice human being has turned out to be a really nice person to me. I don't care how other people see her. She had, on the night of the fire, and remember at the night of the fire, we were in a serious lockdown. She was the one that when I stood there all on my own, just as the fire engines first started to go around, she came out and she stood in front of me and said, "What can I do for you?" I remember that so well. And I looked at her with tears in my eyes and I said, I could really do with a hug. And I know it's pandemic. And she just didn't bat an eyelid. She said, that is easy for me to give you, and did. And, I've had the opportunity on a couple of occasions since then to thank her and let her know that, I know it was a risk at the time, but how much I genuinely appreciated her unconditional love of me in that moment, or her unconditional love for me in that moment. And, it was like, I don't think I will ever be able to forget that one gesture. And again, I repeat, for her, she said, it was such a small thing. And I said, no, it wasn't a small thing. It was so important to me at that moment. So remember, when anybody does any small thing that makes a difference in your life, please remember to acknowledge it so that people know that these little things mean a lot. Again, I didn't realize how much the poem meant to my sister, and for a reason that she explained to me that I don't need to explain to you. But and it was just like, wow, I'm glad I didn't. It was a small thing to do, but I'm glad I did it. Now, about decluttering, how are you all doing? Are you all still putting stuff away? I did quite well this week. You can't see it, but in this room, I'm starting to get almost organized. That back stuff will get organized eventually. I'm sort of working my way around, but on this desk in the craft room, I now can sit at it and work at it. So, but to do that, I'm decluttering, little bits here and there as I go and starting to sort things out. And this also means that I will be able to bring a whole box of stationery and stuff and stick it in this one cupboard next to me, and that's sitting in the dining room, so that's another box that'll be gone. And I am starting to move things out of this room. Remember what I said, that the whole of my unpacking here is one room at a time, slowly. And I now believe I have enough units now to start taking the boxes to one side of the room in my art room and rebuild those cubies now to start emptying the final boxes. But, to me, that is a winter project now. It's like I'm going to enjoy the summer. Do any of you agree with me? It's like unpacking boxes is a good thing to do in the winter. It's not a good thing. It's not something I want to be doing in the summer. So Jodie's saying she's still working on it little by little overall. That the vanity is still sparkling and clutter-free. Sorry, everybody, I got allergies going on. Yes, and that is the whole thing. Look at it. That's when I knew I was out of control this week, Jodie, is when my vanity started to be a mess again. And I just went, I'm out of control. I've got to make a change here. And starting tomorrow, I've tidied a lot of it up. Oh, by the way, just a little extra stress. There will be no water for 24 hours where I live, starting tomorrow. I think I mentioned this on the Friday broadcast, but, I'm trying to think, what have I forgotten? And here's the thing. I meant to go to the doctor on Tuesday for an appointment and, like a pretty intense physical. And I'm thinking, I don't think I'm going to do that to my doctor. Not after a day where I, don't have any water to shower. Even though I know I can sort of shower, with a bucket. But I'm going, I don't think I want to do that. Do any of you, I think I'm going to reschedule the meeting with the doctor. They're like, no, I don't think so. I mean, I like the man. I don't know if that amuses anybody other than me, but it was just like, really, how could I do that to him? I'll just let them know that this this doesn't work for me anymore. So there's a fact that I found out. I thought some of you would like this. Give a little bit of a guess. What do you think the average number of things people have in their houses? The average number of things. Now, I know some of us hoard more than others, but what do you think the average number of items in anybody's home is? Do you think, let me make it easy, do you think it is 20,000? Do you think it is 50,000? Do you think it is 100,000? Do you think it is 300,000? What do you think? The average number of things items that people have in their home. Now, all right, so Jodie's thinking it's probably about 50,000. Yeah, that's a lot of things, right, Jodie? So, putting 7 things away into the recycling every week is not going to make a big dent. But the truth is, Jodie, the average number of things in a U.S. household is 30,000 things. Isn't that scary? 30,000 individual things. So therefore, throwing away 7 a week is not going to make a whole lot of difference, but it will help. Now, I talk about eat at your own restaurant. We're going to have people start coming into our homes again soon. And I have definitely found a number of things that I need to get sorted out. And some of them are more important than others. But to my delight, Yvonne is coming to visit me on Saturday. So, the house is going to be tidy by Saturday, don't you? Why? High motivation. Plus, I will get my mattress turned on Saturday. Yay. Because I've got this whole new thing now when people do come to visit me, whether it's Doug or Yvonne, I think, what things can I not do on my own? And I can no longer turn my mattress on my own. So I'm going to get Yvonne to help me. All right, so I got some more Did You Know? Did you know that the Beach Boys have been? Let me ask you: how many years do you think the Beach Boys have been performing for? And I don't mean when did they first start performing, but how many years have they been performing for? I mean, that's scary. And I understand that they have been performing together for 60 years. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of time to be performing. And they are still enjoying it by the looks of it. But here's something else I found out when I was doing a bit of research. Did you know that Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell actually was with them for 4 months? One of the brothers, there were 3 brothers in the Beach Boys, right? One of the brothers had to be away and they were on tour and he got sick or something. I'm not quite sure what happened, but they needed somebody to take his place. And they actually, Glenn Campbell was in his early 20s at the time. And he actually got to be one of the Beach Boys for 4 months and then went on to be a superstar. Isn't that interesting? He toured with them. Now, did you know that Shakespeare invented 1,700 new words? I didn't know that. 1,700 new words Shakespeare came up with when he was writing his stuff. Now you're going, like what, Sal? Apparently, up until the time that Shakespeare wrote about it, there wasn't such a word as moonbeam. The moonbeam. Up until the time, until Shakespeare wrote about it, there wasn't such a thing as something being laughable or an eyeball or a bump. And he also came up with the word puking and champion and bedroom. I don't know what they called it before. He came up with the word excitement.